After the way this weekend has gone, to come out with a series win is huge. Can't say enough about Cole Klecker, and thank you for Jaden Alba for keeping my blood pressure in check today and making the ninth inning uneventful for the most part. So those two guys threw the heck out of the ball today. Can't say enough about the job that they did. Just huge, tremendous. It's love having a veteran guy on Sunday that knows what he's doing and is able to keep his composure and keep his cool and not let the moments get too big. He threw the ball outstanding. The first play of the game, we booted a ball there, and he didn't let it affect him. He buckled down and was able to get out of there with only one run given up, where it looked like it could have been some trouble there early. But both those guys threw the ball outstanding. Offensively, we did enough. It wasn't a bang up performance on our part by any means, but we did enough. Harry with another good day at the plate, and I can't say enough about bottom of the lineup. PJ getting on base 3 times for him. Some things that may go unnoticed. The defensive play of Dominic Longo at third base today was huge. Just did a great job over there at the hot corner, and we got enough offense to get it done. Again, it wasn't overly impressive, but we did enough to get it done.
Dean Twigo looked like a little shaken up after his catch at right field. Have you checked in on him? What does his status look like?
Yeah, he dinged his knee against that wall over there, and made a heck of a play and slid into the wall, and he'll be a little sore, but I don't foresee that being a long-term issue. I think it's just going to be sore for a week or so.
You talked a lot about the team previously focusing on results over process. Do you think that changed at all today?
Definitely did on the pitching side of things. The way they threw the ball today was much more like it should be, and I think there was a little bit different sequencing and some stuff, and Kleck was using his fastball a little bit more and pitching, working ahead, attacking the zone a little bit better. So was Jaden. They both did a really good job at that. Offensively, it wasn't a stellar offensive performance by any stretch of the imagination, but there's ways to get better, of course.
How important was it to only use 2 arms after using so many pitchers yesterday?
Very, very big. Not only just because we were a little thin down there, but we got another game tomorrow. And this is a long stretch of games, so we were going to do everything we could and throw every last arm that we had to in order to win this one. But again, that's what was extremely impressive and needed by Kleck to give us that length, and the way Jaden came in and threw the ball was very reassuring and a great job on his part.
Last night you mentioned you were going to have a conversation with Jeremy about the pitching. And was there anything that you guys talked about in particular and then relayed to the arms that threw today?
I think Jeremy beat me to the punch a little bit on that, and had a meeting with the pitchers today, and delivered a great message to them. So Jeremy is a phenomenal pitching coach, and knows has a good way of getting through to these guys. And I think that was obvious after yesterday that we have to adjust some things mentally, maybe a few things physically, but and just get back to attacking. And I think he delivered that message outstanding to our guys today, and hopefully they take it and absorb it and put it into use.
Last night you mentioned the fastball command was something you need to get better on. How would you evaluate that today?
Better. Still, it was much better today. Kleck was hitting his spots pretty good. Jaden hit his spots very good. So both those guys threw the ball well.
When you have a guy like Dominic Longo who you can slide around outfield, infield, how much confidence does it give you? Third base is his natural position, but hasn't played there a whole lot this year. But he looked like a natural.
That's one of those things that when we got a couple guys dinged up the way we do right now, we're gonna need that flexibility, and that's just something that he's able to do and does a really good job at. And he hasn't really taken a lot of reps there because we haven't really had much practice time lately. We've just been playing games, but for him to move from the outfield to the infield, I know firsthand how difficult that is especially from center field to the hot corner, where the reaction is so much quicker, and for him to come out and play the way he did today defensively. That's why I said I didn't want that to go unnoticed. He did a tremendous job over there defensively and came up with a big hit that, and on most days would have been an RBI double, but New's not running great right now. So, but a big hit there, and I think the offense is coming from him. We need it to, but he's working diligently at it, and there's just some things we got to get him a little more aggressive. The ball's up in the zone, and I think hopefully the swing will start coming back around.
You kind of mentioned it, but New, he hit the ball well today, but on the base running, looked like he's still limping a little bit. How would you evaluate him going forward? Just what are you going to do?
He kind of retweaked that hammy a little bit the other day on defensive side of the ball. On the ball up the middle, he made a stretch for it and kind of re-aggravated. That's one of those things that, if you have a professional season of a 6-month season, you have the luxury of giving him two or 3 weeks off. We don't have that luxury, nor does he want to come out of the lineup. So we're going to have to be creative with him and DH him and try to sparingly mix him in there on the defensive side of the ball when we can. But we're going to have to be really, careful with him, and because his bat in the lineup is what's important right now. And if we get into a situation where that run is that important, then we'll pinch run for him and go from there. But the kid's a warrior. He wants to play. He's playing through it right now where most people wouldn't be. And hey, he's the type of player you want. And for me, I want that kid in our lineup. And even if he's not running what he's capable of, it's okay. Like, I still need that kid in the lineup.
You mentioned Klecker's composure on the mound. What else stood out about his mound presence this afternoon?
Just working ahead. Walked one guy over 7 innings. That's pretty good. So command and composure, all that stuff was outstanding. Tempo, he was working quick and keeping the defense involved. A lot of contact. I think we strike out 6 guys today. So there was a lot of forced contact and keeping the defense on their toes, and that was big.
This was your team's 5th game in 6 days. Tomorrow will be their 6th game in 7 days. How would you assess the way your squad handled this stretch up to this point?
Okay, not bad. Again, this is a learning experience. This is we knew this stretch was going to be a grind. We knew we were going to get battle tested on the pitching front, just from a workload standpoint, and guys were going to have to step up and figure out who we are. And again, it's not an excuse for some of the pitfalls we've had, but we knew this was going to be a grind of a stretch, and not many teams schedule this many games in these type of days, in this short of days. But there's 2 ways to look at it. A lot of teams don't even schedule full 56. We think that that's important for a number of reasons, but A, to get our guys experience, B, gives us an opportunity to hopefully get more wins, which becomes helpful at the end of the year. And but we knew this was going to be a grind of a stretch, and once we get through tomorrow, then it kind of gets more regular for us. So we'll hopefully get back into sequencing a little bit better.
Do you think guys know who they are? Do you know who these guys are yet?
Define that a little more.
You just said during the stretch, like, guys are going to have to figure out who they are. Do you think that there's some guys on the team that?
I think there's some that are settling in fine, and others that are still searching a little bit, and we have to, going down the stretch run, we got to know who those guys are that we're going to lean on down the stretch, and some guys, the guys that step up and are able to repeat and be consistent, or be the ones we'll go with down the stretch. And but we still need these other guys to get us innings, and same on the offensive side of the ball. We have to mix and match and get bats in the lineup, keep guys sharp. Sam Myers had a great day yesterday and didn't play today. Polke had the walk-off yesterday and, was okay today offensively. And, Garrett Michelle didn't play. That's a guy we got to keep back in there. And, there's all kinds of different moving parts where we're going to need guys to contribute and and pull their weight as we move forward down the stretch.
When Cole was in here, you mentioned how the toughest team wins on Sunday. After everything that's gone on these last few games, how do you get that toughness to show?
I think it's we talk about that a lot, and the tougher, and we like to use that term, is not the tougher team, meaning we're going to take you out to the woodshed and take the gloves off and see who wins the fight, although sometimes that's kind of nice too. But it's more just who can mentally keep it together on Sunday, especially after the first two games that were pretty grueling and a lot of intensity and some sparks flying, and then the way that last night went, the way we were able to bounce back again after that top of the ninth yesterday and win, and then come out today and stay composed and resilient on the mound after a game like that. It was huge. Those guys that are able to stay mentally focused and come with that same intensity on Sunday, which is always the tough day to do that, usually that team wins. So again, I'm proud of our guys, again, not only for responding late last night, but turning around today and doing enough to win a big series.
With a lot of the pitching buzz just being around that Friday night spot, the start, do you feel that Klecker's performances have just gotten a bit lost being later in the weekend?
They shouldn't. It's not lost on us, and that's all that matters. So we as the coaches and we as a team understand how valuable he is and what he's doing for us. So it doesn't go, if other people it's lost on other people, it doesn't really matter. It's not lost on us in here.
You used the words intensity and consistency a lot this weekend. How have you seen those values progress throughout the series?
I mean, the series is a short amount of time. At the end of the day, it's a 3-game. I want to see it over the rest of this year. And, that's not to say we have to play perfect. I just want the intent to be there every day. And for me, that's what's important. We had a long discussion the other day just about how you go about your business and what's important, who you're representing, and what it takes to play this game at a high level on a daily basis. And now you're getting a stretch of this, and again, 6 games in 7 days, you're getting a very small taste of what pro ball is like. If these guys that want to play pro ball and claim that they want to go to the next level, well, then this is a very, very small sample size of what you're going to experience at the next level. So don't give me that you're tired and run down after 6 games. It's a walk in the park at the next level. So just understanding the importance of rising up mentally, being ready to play mentally every day is what's important.
A lot has been said and made of Landon Harrison and what he's been doing. Klecker was in here. They said they gave him the nickname Harry Bonds. I want to get your thoughts on that.
I don't get too involved in the nicknames. I'm just happy he's playing for us and doing what he's doing. So, what can you say about the stretch he's on? I mean, for me, I would tell people in the area, you got a chance to see a phenomenal player here in Tempe. Come out and watch him play. Like it's special. And the run he's on right now is a lot of fun to watch. And these things don't come around very often. So this is your opportunity to watch a future superstar, in my opinion, do what he's doing in college. I'm not saying I'm not going to compare him to, what'd you say, Harry Bonds? I'm not going to make that comparison. It's not fair to do that. But right now, with what he's doing, it's warranted. That the attention he's getting is warranted. I mean, he's the best hitter in the country right now. So we're going to keep riding that and hopefully keep him focused and locked in on what he's doing, which he's done a phenomenal job of, and just let him keep going and support him and have him be the guy in our lineup that we got to build around, and hopefully keep winning games with him doing what he's doing.
You keep calling it a stretch or a run. At what point does it just become, this is just who he is?
Right now it is who he is, and whether that's a season or whether that's 2 seasons or whether that's a month, who knows. But since the beginning of the season to now, that run that he's been on has been very impressive, and Whether that run goes through the rest of his career, which hopefully it does, then, man, we're talking about somebody that's going to go down as history as one of the greatest players ever, right? Especially at ASU and moving forward, he's got a chance to do that and carry on his legacy here, but also at the next level, which is pretty cool. So, but anyway, I don't like to get too far ahead of ourselves on that. I just enjoy the moment for what it's at right now and let him keep doing his thing. That's, I think that's what we're all about here.
How enjoyable is it as a coach to see him?
It's obviously great, to sit back and watch him do his thing and try to. For me, again, I don't sit back and try to take claim for what he's doing. That's I'm just trying to make sure he stays on the railroad tracks and keep going the way he's going. And I'm not going to overcoach him. There's small little reminders every now and again that it's, that we have to do. But for the most part, that kid he knows what he's doing. It's just fun to sit back and watch him do his thing. It's again very impressive, and for those that haven't seen him play, you need to. It's fun to watch him.
When you took the head coach job here at Arizona State, what are some of the values you plan to instill into this program, and how do you feel that they've evolved over the years?
I think representing the program in a way where guys play hard. There's not always going to be peaches and cream, rainbows, unicorns, however you want to look at it. It's not always going to be smooth sailing, but it's how you go about how you go about it and how you represent not only your program but your teammates and your individual self. To me, those are the values. Trying to pay attention to details and understanding what those details ultimately do as a result of doing things right, or when you don't do the details of things, how that affects you in a negative way. Trying to continue to teach these young men not only baseball but life lessons through baseball, which is I think when all the dust is settled, that's probably the most important thing. When these guys leave here, they're a positive influence on society, whether that be in baseball or in the education world or the business world, whatever it is. They know how to hopefully do things the right way and do it respectfully. Whether you're a boss or whether you're an employee or whatever it is, you treat people with respect, you do things the right way, you're on time, you take your classwork seriously, you do all those things that are supposed to be done that we like to call discipline, right? You do things when you're supposed to do it, whether you like it or not. Do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it, whether you like it or not, and be a positive influence on people. So that's like kind of the nuts and bolts of our program on the inner workings, and as a result of doing the X's and O's right, hopefully that translates into wins.